All right, so we've got a pretty big update to talk about. A brand new Fatui trailer is on the way, separate from the recent Nod-Krai teaser. And if you've been following Capitano's story like I have, this changes everything. Yeah, I'm talking about that Capitano, the so-called dead harbinger that just won't stay buried, literally or metaphorically. In this video, I want to walk you through all the latest info. We'll break down why this new trailer is such a huge deal, why Capitano's inclusion is raising eyebrows, and why I still believe, now more than ever, that he's not actually dead and very likely on track to becoming playable in later versions. So let's get into it. First off, yes, multiple credible sources, including Team Mew, have confirmed that another Fatui-focused trailer is coming this August. This is not speculation anymore, it's happening. It's being referred to internally as something similar in style to A Winter Night's Lazo, which was the original Harbinger's reveal back in 2022. And here's the kicker. Capitano is in it. This isn't me stretching or coping. This is coming straight from reputable leakers. Now, they're being careful with their words. They're not saying he's playable or revived, but the fact that he's showing up alongside major active players like the Tsaritsa and Snezhnaya tells you everything you need to know. Think about it. When was the last time Hoyoverse put effort into animating a character that was supposedly dead just for nostalgia? Never. That's not how they operate. If you're in a big trailer like this, it's because your story is still unfolding. Let's rewind a bit to the Archon quest where people started saying, Capitano died. Technically, yes. He offered himself as a substitute for Mavuika in a ley line contract that required a sacrifice. The wording there is key. Sacrifice. Not destruction. Not obliteration. And definitely not permanent death. According to what we saw, Capitano's soul fused with Renova, the so-called Lord of the Night. His body? Still intact. Still breathing. Literally. It's just dormant now, sitting on the throne of primal fire. That's not dead. That's more like stasis. Compare that to Signora, who got disintegrated into ashes in Inazuma. Her vision shattered, no body left. That was death. Capitano, he's still present. He's still in the world. And if we go by Genshin's lore patterns, that usually means one thing. We haven't seen the last of him. Now let's talk about Renova, the Shade of Death introduced in the recent Four Shades trailer. This is where things get really wild, because her story isn't just abstract cosmic lore. It's starting to directly intersect with Nod-Krai and Capitano in ways that make this whole death thing a lot more complicated. First of all, Renova is the entity whose domain is death itself, not in the passive sense, but in the contractual, binding, life exchange type of death. Think Celestial IRS, and who just made a soul-binding sacrificial pact to uphold a ley line deal in Natlan? Exactly. Capitano. It was Renova's rules that governed that entire exchange. Mavuika was supposed to die. Capitano stepped in, and his soul became fused with Renova's power as payment. But here's the part everyone overlooks. That contract wasn't just about honor. It's mechanically tied to how Renova operates. And now, with the official trailer, the implications are massive. That means her influence spans multiple regions. And if Capitano's soul is still bonded to her, it opens up a very real possibility that his story continues through her presence. So instead of asking, is Capitano dead, we should be asking, how much control does Renova have over him now? Is he still himself? Or is his return tied directly to her arrival in Nod-Krai? Some players are speculating that the upcoming Fatui trailer will highlight this very tension, especially if Renova plays a more visible role moving forward. After all, Piero has connections to her too, and we know from lore that the Fatui have been playing with fire by engaging with these cosmic entities. Plus, let's not forget, Natlan is the region most heavily tied to death, resurrection, and forbidden power. It's the perfect place to reintroduce a character like Capitano, who exists in a sort of limbo state. Not dead, not alive, just paused until the god of death moves the next piece on the board. So yeah, if Renova is active in Nod-Krai and Capitano is bound to her essence, then his return isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Harbinger Wheel Theory. The idea that the release order of playable Harbingers follows a specific counterclockwise pattern. Columbina is next on that wheel, and guess what? Leaks are already pointing to her kit and upcoming banner cycle. And who's right after her? Capitano. That's not a coincidence. So if Hoyoverse is following that pattern, which they have been for every Harbinger release so far, then Capitano is next in line, despite whatever his current dead status might suggest. Now, if you're still skeptical, let's look at how Hoyoverse usually treats its characters. When Wanderer was first introduced as Scaramouche, nobody thought he'd be playable either. He literally lost his identity, went rogue, and vanished from the Harbingers. And yet, he got an entire redemption arc, a new kit, and now he's a staple Anemo DPS. Same thing could be happening here. Capitano was never given a farewell. He didn't disappear from everyone's memory. Instead, his story was elevated, literally tied to the ley lines of an entire region. That's not a death scene. That's a setup. One thing I mentioned last time, and I think it deserves repeating, is the symbolism behind Capitano. His insignia, the 3 nails, is eerily similar to crucifixion iconography. And if you've seen how butterflies were fluttering around him in his final scene, you know that's not a goodbye scene. That's rebirth symbolism 101. Hoyoverse loves this kind of foreshadowing. They've used mythic and religious cues before. Think about Raiden's eternity theme, or Nahida's wisdom as suffering arc. Capitano is following the same route, a tragic fall, followed by an inevitable return. So what's actually coming in June? That's where the pieces really come together. Flying Flame, a known leaker, said Capitano is being set up as playable during the 6.x cycle. Again, not 100% confirmed, but no one's denying it either. And every other leak that tried to dismiss his playability always used soft language like not during Natlan or not planned at the time. That's a far cry from saying never. With the upcoming Fatui trailer, his name is resurfacing everywhere. His image, his legacy, his continued presence all point to one thing. He's not gone. He's just waiting for the right moment to re-emerge. So yeah, I stand by everything I said in my last video. And honestly, it feels even more obvious now. Capitano is not dead. He's dormant. He's breathing. He's fused with Renova. And now he's showing up in a Fatui trailer with all the heavy hitters? Yeah, you tell me how that ends. But I want to hear your take, too. Do you think Hoyoverse is setting us up for a Capitano comeback in 6.x? Or do you think this is all just lore fluff with no payoff? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more updates like this, from lore deep dives to banner predictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot to talk about leading into Nod-Krai and beyond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.